Joining us now, well, he is a senior advisor to American First Policies. Not any advisor, not just a kind of advisor, a senior advisor to America First Policies. And he's been on the transition team, and he was on the Trump campaign team, and he was with Trump like me from the beginning. And what else? And he was chairman emeritus of the American Jobs Alliance, of which now I'm the executive director. And he was in the Labor Department, and he's my friend. So all good, only one bad thing. Curtis Ellis joining us now. Good to have you, Curtis.
Being your friend?
I'm
always friends. I always try to be friends with the executive director of the American Jobs Alliance.
I do have one friend. I do have one friend, Curtis Ellis, right? So when somebody says to me,
right.
"You have no friends," I'm like, "No, I do have a friend." Curtis Ellis is my friend.
You're the only person in Washington who has a friend, and that's me. Because they say if you want a friend in Washington, get a dog
or a cat.
Woof woof. So,
Curtis, I want to talk about the president. He has this meeting with the governors. I thought he was. Look, first of all, let's do a couple things. We're going to go to the governors, but let's start with CPAC, right? I've been going to CPAC. This was a couple days old, but I just had John. Curtis, I've been going to CPAC since 1975, right? Long time. I've been going there. 75, I missed 3 of them. Now, you go to CPAC, there's always a schism, right? There's always, Reagan, Ford, and Dole, and Bush, and this and that, and Ron Paul, different factions, been going on forever. Jack Kemp.
That's what makes it fun.
That's what makes it fun.
It's not a Stalinist organization. It's not like the Chinese Communist Party where you get in line behind the president for life now, Xi Jinping, president for life. If you disagree, they block you on social media.
Or
You're
put
not
you in
allowed
jail.
to disagree. That's not CPAC, right?
Yeah, that's not CPAC. But this CPAC, I got to tell you, it was the complete takeover of the Conservative Political Action Conference by Donald J. Trump. I've never seen, Curtis, anything like it. The Republican Party is now the party of Trump.
It is the party of Trump. It was amazing.
Wasn't it?
John, you remember when we were at CPAC in 2013, 2012, 2013, 2014, and we were talking about the Trans-Pacific Partnership. We were talking about Obama trade. We were talking about how free trade and NAFTA are destroying the country and destroying the people of America. And we were talking about we have to have a country. We can't be dissolving it into this trans-Pacific, transnational hoo-ha. And when we started talking about that at CPAC, it's like, what are you talking about? Trans-Pacific?
We were laughed at.
Huh? Economic nationalism?
What?
Look out for our own? This year, that's the official line. I mean, everybody was saying that. Anybody who disagreed with that was pretty much getting booed off stage or thrown out. The whole Bush globalism is done.
It's done.
Purged from the party. Gone. Not purged in a bad way, like you're not allowed to say that, but like people have like woken up and said, that doesn't work. That's stupid. That's not what conservatism is.
Gone. History.
Why are we trying to conserve a new world order where there is no America and we're all ruled by people in the corporate C-suites who say, if you belong to the NRA, we're not going to give you a discount? Wait.
Exactly. It's crazy. The transformation was so lightning fast. I've never seen anything like it, and there's no resistance. So I'm just going to give you 2 examples. And I was saying this on the air on Monday. I just want to loop you in. So in 2016, right, we're there in February, and Rubio is there, Cruz is there, right? All the stars of the Republicans are all there. Rand Paul, big presence, won the straw poll. So Matt Schlapp, who had just taken over from Al Cardenas, right?
Cardenas. I don't know how you pronounce his name.
He invites Trump to speak, and this is February of 2016 or end of January, just before Iowa, right? Just before everything happened. So the Rubio forces and the Cruz forces combined put pressure on the CPAC board of directors, and they disinvite Trump. Remember that?
Yeah.
They had to turn his plane around. He was coming from Iowa. They had to turn around his plane and go someplace else. They disinvited him because they wouldn't let him speak. This was 2016. 2 years later, 24 months, 2018, it's the party of Trump. Unbelievable. And the presence of the Never Trumpers were so small and so ridiculous. Like you said, they got booed off the stage. I think Saturday, Mona Charen had some ridiculous
Mona
speech.
Charen had to be escorted out by security.
She had to get escorted out by security. She was booed off the stage. So the Never Trumpers are now relegated to fringe whack job status, kind of like the old communists were purged out of the Democratic Party in the 60s, right?
Right. It's amazing. The Pat Buchanan vision of conservatism has taken hold at CPAC, taken hold in the Republican Party. The idea of a party that serves the people of America, that's about working people, is about preserving our country, our culture, and economic nationalism versus free trade and globalism, which are British imports in the first place. It's amazing. You know, you remember going back to 92, Pat Buchanan ran against, and again in 88, Pat Buchanan ran against George Bush, and these were two conflicting visions of conservatism. And it's taken a while, but Buchanan won. And, you know, Donald Trump's philosophy, his political platform is very similar to Uncle Pat's. I mean, it's the same thing.
It's an amazing transformation.
It's amazing. You know, look, conservatism had become sort of this monastic creed, this scholastic exercise, an academic examination by, you know, pointy-headed intellectuals ensconced in think tanks in Washington, you know, debating how many Adam Smiths can dance on the head of a pin or something. It had nothing to do with the real-world problems facing the people of America. You know, what do we do in the face of a culture that's rotting, turned to sex and violence nonstop? What do we do about economic policy that's exporting our jobs, our productive assets to the far corners of the earth, where the people of America are forced to compete against slave trade in other parts of the world, where we've taken our best technology, and if it hasn't been stolen from us, we've given it away to our mortal enemies in China. I mean, but we've got this theory that says free trade is good and that open borders are wonderful and bring in people from all over the world because America is an idea and we don't have borders anymore. I mean, enough of that garbage. That's done. Over. That ain't at CPAC no more. You can find it stuffed in a corner somewhere, and they hide it. They hide it. There's still people there. I mean, you've got the Heritage Foundation and others who are still pushing that nonsense, but they hide it. Now they won't talk about it openly because they know they'll get run out of there.
Exactly.
Like Mona Charen.
I mean, she got ran out on Saturday. It's unbelievable. And, you know, for people like us, I just have to tell my audience, I supported Buchanan and his challenge to Bush in 92. And I worked for him in New Hampshire, Georgia, Florida, and we were just mocked. I mean, we were looked upon, the Republican Party establishment, the 92 Buchanan campaign, which I'm very proud of because he got 38% in New Hampshire. I mean, we were looked at as just fringe whack jobs, all right, that had no place there. We were completely ostracized. And that was 92. So basically, that's when I would say it started, was his challenge to Bush in 92. And so, you know, it took a 26-year period. But CPAC 2018, complete capitulation. It is now the movement of Trump. The Republican Party is the party of Trump. He's got the activists. He's got the energy. He's got the excitement. He's got the ideas. And, boy, he came in that thing on Friday. He made the speech. And it was like a rock star like you've never seen. Curtis, he was scheduled to speak for 50 minutes. He had the Australian Prime Minister in town, Markham Turnbull. He spoke for an hour and 35 minutes. He was up there. Right? You were there.
Yeah.
Hour and 35 minutes. Unbelievable.
It was amazing. It was amazing. So he has, and I tell you, in the midterm elections, all these candidates, they better be yay Trump. We're for Trump. Elect us, and we'll help President Trump. Otherwise, they're going to end up like Kelly Ayotte, that famous former senator from New Hampshire, who ran away from Trump in the 2016 election, and she lost her seat. She ain't a senator no more.
Well, it's going to continue on, and that's the message I would have to anybody out there that's running as a Republican. If you don't get the Trump base behind you, you're just not going to win. They have to turn out because we now have the activists. There's no question about it. I mean, where are the other activists for the George Bush wing of the party? For Jeb Bush? I mean, there's no activists there. You went to CPAC, every activist there, every young person had a Trump hat on, right? Mm-hmm. Every single one of them. And remember the whole kind of the Ron Paul phenomenon. All the young people were there, and I
remember. I've got my "I Stand with Rand" T-shirt from CPAC
they
from
bust
a couple
him in
years
for
ago.
the straw poll, and they'd want to win the straw polls. And remember that?
Yeah.
Rand Paul had no presence. I don't think he was there. No Rand Paul. I Stand with Rand. No Rand Paul stickers. That movement, whatever it is, whatever he was, dead. It's all Trump. I've never seen. I mean, there was 100% Trump. Curtis, I saw nothing else. It was the first time at CPAC I've ever seen that.
Yeah. It's quite phenomenal. The reversal of fortune. There's something about Trump that he's like. I saw Black Panther, the movie, right? Mm-hmm. And Black Panther wears this suit. He's got this high tech suit that absorbs the blows, the kinetic energy of any blow. Again, you hit the suit. It absorbs the energy, and then it expels the energy the next time. So the next thing that touches the suit gets whacked with all the energy. The kinetic. That's Trump. The pure reversal of fortune. You go after this guy, they think they're going to take him down, and boom, they get blown out of the water. It happened to McCain. It happened to Jeb Bush. It happened to everybody. Oh, you can't say that about war heroes. Boom, Trump wins. You can't say that about Jeb Bush. Your brother didn't keep us safe. You're not allowed to say that. Boom, Jeb is history. Over and over again. And you see this. You can't. We're going to not let him come to CPAC. Now CPAC is his.
In 2 years. I mean, I want everybody to think about this. 24 months ago, they rescinded his speaking invitation at the last minute. Rescinded it. So he had to turn around and go home. He couldn't come. They rescinded it. 2 years later, he owns it. Unbelievable. It is the untold story of CPAC. It is really unbelievable. Curtis Ellis. Look, I got 4 minutes. We got a lot to go over here in 4 minutes, but I want to get to the president's meeting with the governors. He is going forward with a gun compromise, and he's saying, look, I need to get those that want to carry, have the opportunity to go through a process and be able to carry in schools, end them as gun-free zones. And to compromise that, because I need a legislative solution, I'm going to get rid of bump stocks, and I'm open to not selling guns to anybody under 21 except those that are military veterans that got an honorable discharge. Is that not a reasonable compromise in a divided government?
Oh, it sounds like a reasonable compromise to me. Sounds very reasonable. I don't want to get into the say that this is the president's position, hard and fast, and it's got to be being a legislative solution. It's got to be approved by Congress, so they will determine if that's the thing. It sounds like a reasonable compromise to me. I don't see the Democrats offering anything. I mean, they're completely, guns are bad. The NRA should be banned. There's absolutely no ideas on the other side. I mean, look, this again, reversal of fortune. Big shooting in the schools. The other side says, oh, we're going to take down Trump on guns. Well, then it comes out that the government, the police, the social workers, the sheriff's department, everybody that was supposed to protect those kids, our kids, failed, did nothing. They had every opportunity, every warning, multiple warnings, and even as the shooting was taking place, the guys with the guns, the sheriffs, showed up and stayed outside and did nothing. Reversal of fortune, Trump wins again. And he's now, from his position of strength, position of winning, he's willing to make a compromise and do something, and he's going to win on this issue again.
He is.
People are going to say he's the guy who's actually doing something and getting something done.
Everybody
the other
else
side
talks.
Just stands on the sidelines, carps with spitballs.
You're right. I mean, he's going to get something done. That's why I'm in favor of his compromise and at least having a conversation. That's the thing. Now, final thing, got a minute and a half. After a testy call with Trump over the border wall, Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto says, nah, I'm not going to come to D.C. I'm not paying for your wall. What happens now?
Well, he doesn't come to D.C. Big deal. The wall's going to go forward. I wish it were more forward already, but it's going to go forward. Mexico will end up paying through the renegotiated NAFTA or something. They're going to pay because Chrysler's building its next plant in Michigan, not Mexico.
Right.
So there you go.
That's it. I mean, you know, when I get on CNN and they say, oh, Trump said Mexico is going to pay for the wall. It's like he never said they were going to give a check to the U.S. Treasury. It's going to be paid for by tariffs or by ending the trade deficit one way or the other. And the president is simply going to say, hey, you know, either I get what I want or this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to slap a 20% tariff on every damn thing that you make that comes through San Diego or Rio Grande or wherever the hell you ship it in. I'm putting the tariff on every day. And, you know, we have a $500 billion trade deficit with them, right? So 20% tariff is $100 billion there. Done. Wall. Paid for. John Fredericks Radio Network. We just lost Curtis, but we're out of time anyway. So it's good to have you with us on the John Fredericks Radio Network.